Hi kids, we wish you all, this is July the 11th, 2009, and I want to wish you all a gracious and glorious Merry Christmas. This is Christmas in July, and we're going to be putting this video together to kind of give you an idea of my life up to this point. And we're going to do it in different segments, so this will be the initial segment of the story. Oh boy, I had some memories when I was a kid, some of them good, some of them bad. I remember going to school when I was in the first grade, and my mother made me wear knickers. Now, I don't know if any of you know what knickers are, but they were them trousers and pants that came down to just below the knee, and then they had like that stretchy stuff there that pulled it tight around the knee, and then the rest of your leg was bare. And oh, did I hate them, especially if they were corduroy. I hated corduroy. But then my mother evidently liked them because that's what she gave us to wear, or gave me to wear. I don't remember Uncle Junior ever having to wear corduroys, but I certainly do remember me having to wear them. And then some of the things that I remember of things that actually happened. I can remember I and neighbor boy, who was my same age, used to play out around our barn there on Linfoot Street, which that barn has been torn down now. But when we lived on the corner of Linfoot and Ottakey, we had a barn in the back, and we had a cow in that barn. In fact, at one time we had two of them in there, and then we moved to where Grandma lived when she died, and back there we had three cows, and I had to go walk back there and milk them cows every morning and every night, and bring the milk bucket up to the house and pour it into what they call a separator, and then you turn the crank, and that separated the cream from the milk. And the cream then we would use for making butter and homemade ice cream. Made wonderful homemade ice cream. Well, that was good stuff. I can remember Grandma cooking that pudding that they make that out of on the stove with that rich cream, Jersey milk, Jersey cream. Oh, that cow would give half a gallon milk and 2 gallons of cream. She actually possibly was our savior during the Depression years, and right afterwards, the early part of the 40s during the war, that I can remember when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and Aunt Betty would have been like 10 years old. Uncle Junior would have been only a couple years old, but it was normally I and Aunt Betty for the first few years that had sat on the living room floor there on Linfoot Street, and we'd have a gallon jar, a glass gallon jar with a lid on it, and Grandma would put the cream in there, and we would roll it back and forth, back and forth. Took about an hour, but as you got going more with it, that cream would turn into butter and get real lumpy and such. And we made our own butter, and we was able to sell quite a bit of it, because during the war like that, there was a black market on most of that stuff. So people would pay you real well for a good homemade butter. And And then another thing that I recall is I and this neighbor boy, I started to talk about the neighbor boy. His name was Dick Shippey. And we used to play out around that barn. Well, out on the back side of that barn by the alley, Grandpa had a lot of his tools in that. And he had a 50-gallon drum sitting back there that was about half full, maybe even more than half full of tar. And when I was a little kid, they could double dare or dare me to do anything because I would do it. But this Dick Shippey, he dared me to dunk my head in that tar. I didn't. My hair was all tar. Grandma says that my hair isn't as dark now as what it was when I was born because that tar took some of the black out of it. She said it was even blacker. And I can remember Mom taking me in the bathroom, and I know what you're going to say. Oh, I bet she really spanked his ass, but no, she didn't. She put me in the bathtub and took turpentine to get that tar out of my hair. And that was terrible. And then she had to scrub it with soap and water to get the turpentine out. That was the most stupid thing I ever done. And let's see, in my real early years, I can remember the first time that I served Mass. Because back in them days, that was like during the war, and Mom and Dad used to get up like during Lent, and they would go to Mass every morning during Lent. And we'd go to Mass, and morning after morning that we were there, the Father Walters never had a server. So finally I asked Mom, I said, can remember asking her if there's nobody else going to serve, maybe Father Walters would let me serve. And so she said, well, go ask him. So I went up and I asked him, and he said, sure, you can serve. And that's how I got started serving, and I'm still serving.